Super Mombo Quest is a colorful side-scroller that tries something very different in the platforming genre, combos. More precisely, Mombo combos. Yes, as platforming is one of the oldest and probably the most classic genre of video games, it certainly welcomes new additions to the formula. So let's see how well Super Mombo Quest succeeds in this attempt. Welcome! This is Reviews from the Void. Okay, so what the hell do I mean by combos in a platformer, right? Yeah, it's actually pretty simple, but first I need to say that this game structures itself in a Metroidvania fashion, meaning that there are several interconnected worlds divided into small screens. The player will have to traverse these small screens from start to finish without taking more than one hit. Pretty regular stuff so far. However, each one of these screens will ask the player to complete one or two challenges while going through it. That's where the combos come in. Most of them will ask the player to run through killing enemies as fast as possible so not to allow the combo meter to deplete. This simply transforms the entire gameplay into something very engaging and fun from the very beginning all the way to the end, and they made sure of that by adding unlockable abilities, another aspect pulled from Metroidvanias, that will be required to open new paths in the map, but also can be used to traverse tough platforming sections and to defeat enemies. So if there is one thing that I can guarantee no matter what, is that this game is loads of fun. If you're looking for a fun platformer, stop searching, okay? Now with that out of the way, let's get to more detail and score Super Mombo Quest now. Graphics and sound. The graphics are pretty tasty in Super Mombo Quest. The pixel art is really well detailed, and in some parts it really shows, like in the background for the town area. The NPC sprites and all animations in the game are fluid and enjoyable. However, some scenarios and bosses are very uninspired. It still gets a good score on graphics, but just not excellent. As for music, all tracks are well composed and fit the game and locations very well, with some parts of some tracks being real nice, like this bit here. Not one of the best music in games or anything, but pretty satisfactory. My biggest complaint in this category has to be with the sound effects. Most are perfectly fine, but Mombo's voice effects are just annoying after 2 minutes. Of course, there is an easy fix to that, just turn down the sound effects in the options, but it's not what you want, right? So for graphics and sound, Super Mombo Quest gets a 1.4 out of 2. Still positive overall, but could have been easily better. Controls and challenge. In the control aspect, Super Mombo Quest is pretty great actually. You can unlock 4 new forms of Mombo, each having exclusive abilities. All of these will be tagged to the same button, which is a wise decision to minimize confusion in getting used to each form. And that's very important because this is a pretty fast-paced platformer. Every move that Mombo is capable of has a meaningful purpose and everything works rather smoothly. You have a double jump, a ground pound, a bounce forward, and Mombo sticks its tongue to the wall to fall slowly like in Super Meat Boy. Then some of the form specific abilities like the triple jump, the glide, and the fire dash feel simply awesome to use. Really, those are some top of the class platforming mechanics in this game. There were only two small issues I found related to controls. The same button is used for the special form abilities as well as the bounce forward skill, depending on whether you are touching the ground or not, so that led to some frustration. The other one was with electric Mombo form. It took some time to even understand how the skill was meant to be used, but those are minor in the grand scheme of things. Now when it comes to challenge, for 99% of the game it feels just fantastic. All the well-implemented abilities will be put to the test in lots of difficult segments with several different types of trials, while the difficulty ramps up in a steady pace, which makes the game never feel stale, not even a little bit. However, the last world just escalates the challenge insanely. There are at least 5 screens in the final world that are just ridiculously difficult, asking the player to do things they never did before. Like this section here, with having to go through these red gates with the fire dash and then double jump after each one. They never asked us to do anything like that once, and suddenly you have to do it 15 times in a row with all these walls here that kill you if you touch them, and if you double jump too soon, the explosions from the red gates also kill you. And after that there are 2 more tough sections in the same screen. It's hard as f***, and if you lose all your lives, it's back to the checkpoint 5 screens behind. It's maddening. Of course, the last world is supposed to be more challenging, but they overdid it, I think. And at least this particular screen here will probably be off-putting for a lot of people. But I won't fault it too much, since the feeling of accomplishment also increases a lot once you pull this off, and this only happens for 5 screens in the final bit of the game. So while not perfect, controls and challenge are pretty high up with a 1.7 out of 2. Bang for buck. Mombo Quest will last anywhere between 7 to 10 hours to complete 100%, and trust me, you will be tempted to complete 100% of this game, not because it promises any great rewards, but because it's so much fun to do it. Meanwhile, its full price as of the making of this review is $14.99 on Steam, $15.90 on Switch, and there's a free option on mobile phones, but it's filled with advertisements, though there is an option for a premium version with no ads for $5. So even if you don't play it on mobile, I feel like there is a decent balance between this game's price and its length. In terms of extras, although the unlockable for finishing 100% of the game is just a skin variation for regular Mombo, the unlockable for finishing the game regardless of percentage is great. If you still have some screens to complete, this is awesome. However, if you already completed everything, it would have been better if there were extra screens for the post-game. So although not the best it could be, I feel like it's a decent bang for buck value here, especially given that the game is a lot of fun. So it gets 1.5 out of 2 in this one. The sauce. This here is the main aspect of any game, and therefore the main point of the review. It's that special thing that binds all other aspects of the game together and gives it a new taste, for better or worse. The sauce is the reason why one should or should not consider playing this game, so to reflect its importance, it's worth 4 points for a total of 10. And I'm happy to say that Super Mombo Quest has quite a lot of sauce, for sure. The Mombo combo thing is a blast. The multiple forms Mombo can take go beyond just feeling meaningful, because some of the skills they unlock really improve an already great gameplay. The story is unconventional to say the least, and can be hit or miss. It really doesn't take itself seriously, full of jokes. I actually liked it for the most part. However, the reasoning for the villain's actions is just silly, putting a kind of weird taste in the game's conclusion. Also, the protagonist is not very likable. He never talks, he's just moved by the desire to collect crystals and coins. He doesn't care about anything else, so he just passes as a hollow shell, and not in a somber, cool way like in Hollow Knight, but in a shallow and uninteresting way. But all these criticisms do not cast too big of a shadow on the positive aspects of this game. The actual moment-to-moment gameplay is some of the best platforming experiences I've had in a while, due to how great the level design is and the use of all the skills that I've been talking about. Another aspect I haven't touched on are the purchasable items and skills. They're very substantial, especially the 3 items you can equip at once that can, for instance, improve your survivability in boss fights drastically. So there's a lot of encouragement to experiment with different item combinations. Quest, which is another great feature of this game. In conclusion, Super Mombo Quest is overwhelmingly positive, with only minor things preventing it from reaching the highest possible scores in sauce territory. So Super Mombo Quest gets a very positive 3.6 out of 4 in sauce. And with that, the final score is 8.2 out of 10. This means that if you like challenging platformers, this is pretty much a must play actually. I hope that it turns a good profit to Orube team from Brazil and they can make a sequel or another game with similar features, cause if they manage to improve on this, it would go from great to stellar real quick. And that's it for the review. Hope it was helpful or entertaining to you. If you'd like to see more and other game coverage, put some sauce in that like and subscribe button so the channel can grow and become more sustainable. In any case, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon.